Welcome back to the Sports Fix on Flow FM. We've still got softball to talk about later in the hour. Got the stat man coming up for you. Also athletics and roller skates. Lots to be talking about on the Daily Sports Fix today. And the Flow man, we know how much he loves his local sport, and he loves it even more if someone from a local region ends up with his beloved Crows.
And this involves a Adelaide Crows recruit who comes from the Riverina in New South Wales. You know, I love a good sporting story that takes in some of our local broadcast areas, and love it even more when they join my Adelaide Crows. And this is Nick Murray's story, the 20-year-old who has been playing last year in the Riverina Football League, which did actually play in New South Wales, and even with the COVID situation, many of the other leagues like the Hume Football League didn't get going. But Nick Murray is a tall defender and also played a bit of football up forward too for the local Lions. That is the boys from Ganmain, Grong, Matong. And he booted 12 goals from 7 games last year and got a big haul of 4 against the eventual premiers with the Wagga Tigers. And according to the Adelaide Crows General Manager of Lists, that's Justin Reid, they're delighted to get Nick to the club officially. Yes, he's come up on the radar after having some time with the Crows in January. They've been able to get him onto a supplementary list. He's a versatile player, and he's actually played for the Crows in their first 2 trial matches against Port Adelaide. And as a result, he's been able to get himself onto that list, which is going to be a really good opportunity for him to show his wares. Hopefully he gets a run at some point in the season, Nick Murray. I'm sure that the folk who come from Grong, Ganmain, Matong, between Narandra and Coolaman, they'd be all very happy about this local young fella playing over in Adelaide for the Adelaide Crows in the AFL. I'm sure that those Billabong Crows in the Hume Football League wouldn't have minded maybe getting a recruit like that to their club, but it is a good pickup for Nick Murray to get his AFL career on the go. Missed out on a couple of drafts, and at the age of 20 has found his way onto an AFL list. Just shows you, if you persevere and don't give up, then like this young lion at heart, he's become a Crow.
And continuing with the Adelaide Crows theme, we apologise in advance, but the Flow man, he loves his Adelaide Crows, especially when they have a record-breaking win.
And a day where sport, we've seen the AFLW over the weekend, some interesting clashes of football that were played out by the girls, and the Adelaide Crows girls had a record-breaking win. They were way too good for the Gold Coast Suns, and they won the match by about, 70 points in the end. I think it was their highest score ever too for the Adelaide Crows girls. North Melbourne beat Richmond, doubled their score, 67-32. Brisbane Lions, they got over the GWS girls really comfortably. Melbourne thrashed the Saints, who've had a couple of big losses in a row. Carlton continued the Cats' woes, 64-31. And Collingwood, top of the table, rolled the Western Bulldogs girls comfortably, while Freo hit the West Coast with a real thrashing, and the latter showing Collingwood's undefeated. Freo in second, Brisbane third, and Adelaide fourth, and just one loss, and all 3 of those with percentage upwards of 200% behind Collingwood. And really, it looks like they're your top 4, doesn't it? Gold Coast and Geelong remain winless after 6 rounds with percentages of 31% in a one-sided women's competition. Disappointing in that sense, but it is terrific to see the top 4 sides are certainly going along pretty well. And we'll wait for some interesting finals action not far away in the women's comp. And Ash Barty continues to be one of our elite sports persons, but on International Women's Day, she does more than just play tennis. This is an article at Flow News 24, Barty an inspiration to women athletes, and it's appropriate for the day like today, where one of the biggest names in the world of female sport in the tennis side, Ash Barty, is inspiring teenage girls to stay involved in this sport. Ash Barty has most definitely been one that has been good to follow for the younger players, and not that Ash has needed any encouragement to do her best. If she wasn't playing tennis, she could have been a cricketer. She did make it through to the Queensland state side and played in the Women's Big Bash. Brisbane's Golf Club would have a terrific golf player too if she was out and about on the fairways. It's more than just sport, it's a passion, it's a lifestyle and a way of life, Ash Barty told AAP Sport. It doesn't matter what sport it is, it brings people together. And fittingly, she's the biggest name in Australian women's sport right now. She's an ambassador for Tennis Australia's Girls in Sport program and also has been the pin-up for Play For You, an important campaign aimed at keeping teenagers playing sport, particularly girls. The Sport Australia Ausplay 2018 survey reported that 36% of girls stopped playing sport by the age of 18, and debilitating peer pressure to look good, the obsession over body language were identified as the key factors that had girls dropping out. And Ash said, "I hope I can help inspire women and girls to believe in themselves, have the courage to take on sport and to do things and do it their way in the game." And she's the 2020 Young Australian of the Year, a Wimbledon junior champion at 15. She quit tennis at 18 with homesickness and isolation, the grind of the professional circuit taking its toll. She had some terrific doubles titles to her name at that stage too, but she came back with a new coach and has since that time been unbelievable. And the satisfaction, she said, that you get, the feeling that you get when you're released to play for yourself, and the massive part of that in her development, that once she got over playing for everyone else and trying to work out to make people happy and trying to get things together, Ash finally worked out that she needed to mentally prepare and not let the game dominate her, but that she's become a dominator in the game. And yes, mentally sometimes it heads the other way around, and she said it can be absolutely soul-crushing, but no longer for Ash Barty, our number one tennis player and an ambassador to young women in sport.
That she certainly is. We love our Ash Barty, and we certainly wish her well at the top, and hopefully she'll stay there. She's an inspiration for all. It doesn't matter whether you're a tennis player or tennis follower or not. You just get inspired by the efforts of great talented women, and Ash Barty is certainly an inspiration to all, big and little as well. And you can find details about that article, that story, by going to that website, flownews24.com.au.